Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our virtual service. My name is Takato, and I would like to thank you for attending this morning's Dharma family service. We will begin the service with a moment of quiet sitting. Tara will strike the bell, and we will sit for 1 or 2 minutes to quiet our minds and to prepare to hear the Dharma. Then she will strike the bell again, and we will continue with the service.
Namanda, 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 Namanda. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda.
はい、Tara will now lead us in the chanting of the Jusei.
Namanda, 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 Namanda. Gagon Chosegan Hishimu Jodo Shigan Fumanzo Seifu Joshoga Gao Muryoko Fui Dai Seshu Fusai Shobingu Seifu Joshoga Gashi Jobutsuro Myosho Chojipo Kukyo Mishomon Seifu Joshoga Ryokujin Shonen Joe Shubon Gyo Shigumu Jodo Isho Ten 上満蔵いよろじぽ日月主十期天候音普賢一種解放像公正苦読法上大集中殺法ししく供養一切仏具足習徳本金出上満得意三害を如仏無下知津田罪不詳願学へり投資最小損志願や効果大勢の感動国書天人当珍妙形ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがにしく読平等性一切道本菩提心往生安楽ナマンダスナマンダスナマンダスナマンダスナマンダスナマン
Please join us in singing the Gatha Ganjin's Journey.
He who suffered over
Please join me in reciting the three treasures 1. Three treasures 1. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not realize the truth in this life, when will it be realized? Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we absorb ourselves in the principle of the way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves to supreme will. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we be submerged in the depths of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we live in harmony in the great assembly as disciples of Buddha and be free from all hindrances, becoming units of true accord in the life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namah Butsu. 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 We will now have a Dharma talk by Tara.
Morning, everyone. Will you please join me in Gassho? Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. So, my first injury was an ankle sprain back in the 5th grade playing tennis in flip-flops. And yes, I never did that again. And for many years, I only had minor ankle sprains until my junior year of high school, when I had my first bad sprain and my first gymnastics injury. And so we were warming up and doing a rotation of different skills, and I second-guessed myself. And in gymnastics, when you're flipping, you can't second-guess yourself. That's when I needed to stop. And so one of the elements that we were supposed to do was jump off of a 3-foot-high block and then punch the floor, but not like punch with your fists. In gymnastics, it's like a type of quick rebound jump. So jump off the block onto the floor and then into a front tuck or a front flip in the tucked position. And so what I did is I jumped off the block, sprained my ankle when I hit the floor, and somehow managed to flip all the way around and land on my bottom. 2nd-degree sprain and the start to my medley of injuries. The next year, my senior year, was a series of one muscle compensating or adjusting for another injury. I got tendinitis in my left foot during cross country. That led to my hip flexor, then being strained also in cross country. Doctors always said, take a few weeks off, ibuprofen, ice. And so I did, and then we go back. However, eventually the pain persisted, and I realized, I probably shouldn't be doing gymnastics and running. So I stopped, and there went my cross-country and soccer seasons for senior year. I tried going to a sports medicine doctor, physical therapist, acupuncturist, and a Bowen therapist, which is like a muscle therapy, but nothing worked, and I was not able to return to gymnastics. And so for me, in high school, one of my goals was to compete level 7 gymnastics. And for those of you who don't know, in gymnastics, there's junior Olympic levels to work your way up to the elite level. And so I was a little old for a level 7 gymnast, but it had been my goal since we had found a semi-competitive gym that would allow me to train for level 7 while not quitting everything else. And so for me, what was special about level 7 is it was the first level where we got to compete our own routines. It was when we got to make our own routines, and we had actually already made my routine. I had signed up for all the spring competitions, but I never got to compete. And so I felt disappointed that I couldn't reach that goal. Then swim season came around, and I was like, okay, I can do this. But because my hip was still bugging me, I was only doing pull sets, so only arms. And of course, teenage Tara wanted to keep up with everyone else, even though I was not kicking or using my legs. And so one day, I felt a sharp pain throughout kind of my collarbone area and my shoulder, and I had strained my rotator cuff. The last sport of my senior year was gone. I felt frustration that I couldn't even swim, the sport that is so often recommended to someone with injuries. And so, here I am, many years later, and my new goal post-college is to run a half marathon. And I've tried to train a couple of times, but whenever I hit kind of that 7-8 mile mark, tendinitis in my feet always come back. John, my partner, did a lot of research and found some exercises that actually helped, and so I was hopeful. So during the pandemic when I was running, no tendinitis in my feet, but then my knee started to bug me. And so, although feeling frustrated, instead of pushing it like I had in high school, I was like, okay, I'm gonna rest it. I'm gonna do strength training. I'm gonna walk, I'm gonna hike instead. But while hiking, I started to get another pain behind my knee. So again, I rested, only did weights, physical therapy exercises, walking. I would try to slowly ease back into running, but then would stop when it hurt. And so I tried even seeing a chiropractor. And I felt hopeful again. I was like, oh, maybe this will actually help. And it helped my back pain and my headaches, but not the pain behind my knee. And so I thought, okay, I've tried ice, I've tried rest, I've tried strengthening. Maybe it's something else. So I went to the doctor, and a few months and many appointments later, doctors didn't see anything, and they said it is hamstring tendinitis. And the only thing to do was rest, ice, and physical therapy. I felt frustrated and angry at my body for not letting me even do the simplest things without pain. And then that I was frustrated that there was no way to fix it except for what I had already been doing. This time around, I thought I had done everything right. I stopped when there was pain and I eased into running, but the pain still persisted. So one more emotion decided to visit me: fear. I felt fear that the physical therapy won't help, and that nothing will help, and that I won't be able to run, and I won't be able to meet that goal of running a half marathon. And then upset visits me. I get upset at myself for being upset because of all the other many issues going on in the world. I'm over here upset that I can't run. And I am upset. I am frustrated, angry, disappointed, afraid, and I am human. And in Buddhism, we talk about Bonbu. So I am Bonbu, and Bonbu means foolish or imperfect or ordinary human nature. We are not perfect, we make mistakes, and we have feelings. And our bodies are human bodies, so they get injured and age and change and feel emotions, which are all real. And knowing this doesn't necessarily make it less hard. It does still hurt that I can't run, and I still feel all of these feelings. And so something that I learned in one of the mental health trainings I went to was that our feelings are our friends. And so these are our friends who are trying to tell us something, about ourselves and our values. So while it is hard, I try to interrupt those judging thoughts and start to be more curious. What are my friends' anger, frustration, disappointment, and fear trying to teach me? They're trying to tell me that I value being able to run and exercise, that it is something I enjoy and something that is important to me. And my friend feelings are also telling me that I value being able to work hard and I value fairness, and how I feel it is unfair that I can't run even though I've rested and worked hard. And so We all face obstacles and challenges and in all different shapes and sizes. And these obstacles are all important to us and our journey. I know everyone has faced some sort of physical obstacle or physical changes. And many of us have experienced injuries or surgeries. Many have experienced our bodies changing and maybe aching a little more than they used to, or maybe not quite able to do what it used to do on the basketball court. And many of us have also experienced life-changing physical or medical changes to our bodies, or maybe of loved ones, which then push us to change the way we live our life. So while I have this tendency to minimize and judge my injury obstacle, it still has impacted me. And I realize that it has impacted my life. It has impacted my mental and physical well-being. It has changed the way that I have coped. And it has also changed and has pushed me to change the way I manage stress. And a change that I can't run with my friends and my sisters. And it does make me feel far away from my goal of running a half marathon. And it is okay to be angry and frustrated and disappointed and afraid and any other emotions that come with these changes. And all I can do now is to either keep trying to heal or keep looking for another goal, new things to focus on, and also not to ignore what my friends are trying to tell me. So I encourage all of you, when your emotions come for a visit, whether that's because of an injury or other physical change or obstacle, or any obstacle, try asking them, what are you trying to teach me about myself? Will you all please join me in Gasho? Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandas, namandas, namandas. Do you want me to?
Thank you, Tara, for your Dharma message. I'll now read the announcements that have been submitted. If you have any announcements to be read at the Sunday service and to be included in the announcement slide, please send it to the temple office by Friday before the service. So the first announcement, immediately after the service, we will have a virtual yoga by Hitomi-san. On Wednesday, July 20th at 7 p.m., we have a meditation and discussion. If you would like, please join. The day after, Thursday, July 21st at 6:30 p.m., the BBT Dharmanar there will be a BBT Dharmanar, and the topic would be the Buddhist rituals. And we will now have a thank you announcements. Thank you myself for being the chairperson for today's service. Thank you. Bradley and Myron for the help during today's live streaming service. Thank you. Tony and Ryan for monitoring the chat room on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Emiko-san and the music team for the beautiful music for the gala today. Thank you so much. COVID-19 committee for keeping our members safe. Thank you so much. And everyone who joined the service today. Thank you so much. This now concludes today's live streaming service. Thank you for attending, and see you next Sunday. Goodbye.